Yesterday, the Dallas Cowboys got exposed as gutless, heartless, leaderless playoff frauds. That was by far the most shocking and devastating and humiliating playoff loss in Dallas Cowboy history.
This was a coaching spanking.
What in the name of Jimmy Johnson happened to our Cowboys?
There was no answer for anything.
Dak, the 8-year veteran, looked rattled and anxious and nervous and rattled and inaccurate. His ball placement was mostly awful.
My lowest moment ever as a lifelong diehard Cowboy fan.
Dan Quinn took a coaching spanking. Mike McCarthy took a coaching spanking.
And Mike McCarthy said something about, nobody saw this coming. Well, you're the guy who's supposed to see it's coming. You're the guy who's supposed to worry that it could happen. And you're the guy that's supposed to prepare for every possible eventuality. Because you're the guy that's supposed to see it coming.
I can't believe that the Dallas Cowboys took that game and played that way at that time. That's unacceptable.
Frauds.
They weren't prepared. They're lined up in the wrong spot.
How are you not ready to play in this game with everything on the line?
And I was so wrong to even remotely trust Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott as 7.5-point favorites at Jerry World, January 14th, 2024. A day that will live in Cowboy infamy.
It's not just about winning. It's about looking like you belong at home.
Jordan Love is so much better than Dak. I'd love to see if Trey Lance can turn into Jordan Love.
The playoffs create clarity and truth. Jordan Love, C.J. Stroud were all really, really good. Why? Because they're really, really talented. Some sooner than we thought. Jordan Love's just a better player. I'm not exaggerating. He's cheaper than Aaron. He's more athletic than Aaron. He gets along with his young receivers better. There's no drama. And let's just add this. He may throw it better than Aaron.
Jordan Love, wow. That's about all I can say, Pete, is wow. What he did and the poise he shows, the command he shows, just so proud and happy for him. He's a dude. He is a real dude.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Packer Universe Podcast. We're a Green Bay Packers fan podcast bringing you topical and relevant Packers news, along with our most humble, subjective opinions. I took the liberty of starting the episode out with a little montage of the talking heads that happened on Monday morning. As all of us should, we should be indulging in all the media that has focused on the revelation that the Packers are actually pretty good. So I thought it very fitting. That was just for, the legalese. That was, Undisputed with Skip Bayless, and I got Florio in there, and we got Colin Coward in there, and then, of course, Matt LaFleur. And yeah, go out there, go find this stuff, listen to this stuff, enjoy it, soak it in. And this is like once in a lifetime opportunity here to just watch the national media soak this up. Welcome to episode 256. We're recording this on a Wednesday, January 17th, 2024. I'm your host, Tay, and joining me in studio is our one and only
Ren. What up, Tay? How we doing on a Wednesday? It's a Thursday because we're playing on a Saturday. And that guy isn't, though. And that would be Fundamentals. Because of all the things you just heard, Tay. Yes, I have been feasting off of the Dallas win since Sunday evening after that thing finally went 0 across the board and it was over. Yeah, I mean, YouTube, anything Packers, eat it up. Every person saying anything. Yes, I listen to the Skip stuff. I listen to the Colin stuff, Florio stuff, all the stuff. But some of the problem, Tay, with that
is it focused?
Is the narrative, right?
Yeah, right.
Not this young upstart Packers that played one hell of a football game, but how do the Cowboys do this?
How they lose?
How are they not
lose?
prepared? How did this happen to Dallas? It happened because you got your ass kicked by a better team, Tay. It's not. And let's talk about the better team that won and how this thing is coalescing, come together, how it has since that post defeat, just malaise after Minnesota. And then you talked about, if you remember, on the first take, you're like, you don't sound mad, Ren. And that was after the Steeler game.
Right.
And that kind of started it all, in my opinion, is, we saw progress from Jordan. It was like, okay, this is looking better. This is looking better. And where are we? 9 weeks later, Tay, we're to the tune of 21 touchdowns and 1 interception.
Incredible.
MVP-like play
Yeah.
since that point in time.
But you don't hear that from them. You hear a lot of it now. Now you hear it.
You hear it.
You hear it now.
But I think in
No one's believing it.
in Colin's pieces, clip on YouTube, it's about 10 minutes long. The first half is, the Cowboys. But then, that second half, he starts talking about the Packers and actually pays them a lot of compliments. And I thought my favorite in that clip, maybe he'll play it for everybody, is him talking about the Packers in the future. We might have another one, Tay. As the kids say, Tay, he is him, and that's some Jordan Love. And we might have another one for some years to come.
Well, I do have that clip, so let's listen to Colin, because he does kind of put it succinctly, and he's a national talking head. I love calling them that, but he, can put some things into words that we may not be able to. But his point and sentiment is accurate. Let's listen to Colin talk about the Packers.
Talk Packers. That's more joyful. I have never seen in my life an in-season improvement of a quarterback ever like Jordan Love. From week 8 at home against the Vikings, October 29th, can't play. Can't play. Coaching staff ripping him after the game. To, he's better than Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Matt LaFleur has done an unbelievable job. 21 TDs, 1 pick in the last 9 games, completing over 71% of his throws. Athleticism, confidence, accuracy. That bye-week renovation is unbelievable. He literally went from can't make the cut at the Valero Open to leading the Masters by 9 strokes on Saturday in about 4 weeks. I've never seen anything like it. Now, this is what great offensive coaches often do with their young quarterbacks. Big leaps. But from that to this, I'm not exaggerating. He's cheaper than Aaron. He's more athletic than Aaron. He gets along with his young receivers better. There's no drama. And let's just add this. He may throw it better than Aaron. Now, all kids age at different speeds. And Green Bay was very frustrated with him. I know you're all experts, but let's not revise history. He was bad. I was looking at his stats this morning. Before the bye, he was completing a Tebow level 55% of his throws and a 77 passer rating. That's what he was. After the bye, he's like Favre in his prime. 68% completion percentage and 106 passer rating. And the Packers got frustrated. They were critical of him. They were upset with him. But they were also patient. And this is what Green Bay does. And then you add in the drafting of these tight ends and these wide receivers. Listen, this is not just Dallas played poorly. That's not just what this is. Green Bay is a problem. I've talked to general managers for the last 3 or 4 years. Nobody can get a second good corner. Green Bay's got 5 receivers I like and 2 tight ends, and they're not paying any of them, which means they can go buy other pieces. They are a matchup problem. Those young receivers. I mean, yesterday, Jaden Reed didn't even have a catch. He's the most talented one they have. So Favre to Rodgers to Jordan Love. I mean, that's 3 hole-in-ones in the same tournament. That's incredible. Never seen anything like it. I mean, we thought Montana to Steve Young to Jeff Garcia was pretty good. I mean, this is incredible. And what I love about this is that what makes sports so great are not just the upsets, but it's the player development. Listen to even Matt LaFleur can't quite wrap his brain around what he saw. When the coach who sees him, teaches him, mentors him every day at practice is doing that. Like wow. Like he surprised everybody. But this is what Green Bay does. It's what hardworking kids do. It's what great offensive coaches who have a sensibility and feel for it have proven time and time again. But this is not. Don't take this as, hey, Dallas just played poorly. No, Green Bay's a problem. Green Bay is going to be a problem for that division and that conference and this league for a long time. There is a cornerback shortage in this league. Green Bay has got a surplus of offensive talent when Jaden Reed doesn't even have a catch. And you're like, their fourth guy is a hard matchup. That was impressive.
So, Colin's talking about the Packers and how you got to kind of watch out. You have to watch out for the Packers now. And I think that has finally sunk in with the national media, and it's on people's radar now, right?
Well, I mean, they're still playing with house money. They're still the underdog.
Sure.
You know, that's the thing, Tay. They're starting now when it's, one of the most watched games in postseason history. I think they had 43, for most watched, I should say, wild card games in postseason history. They had over 43 million viewers for that game, Tay. I mean, it's incredible, but that's Packers Cowboys. You start to, everybody starts to sit back and take notice. But the big thing is everybody questioned in the offseason. You had, the naysayers, a few weeks into the season, like Richard Sherman getting toasted and roasted online for saying, like, he's not the guy. You guys should have stuck with the guy you had. Get ready to basically suck here moving forward and what that feels like. Well, he came out and basically said, I was wrong today. So, I mean, where they're at now is pretty incredible. It's pretty fun. And yes, I think Jordan, he is him, but I still want to see it next season too, in a regular season, him put together another solid season before I 100% say, yeah, he's the next franchise guy for the next 10 years. I think he is that already. And if he does that next year, he 100% is, but he's going to get paid in May when they can finally offer him a contract based on where that thing has to lay out. They can't do it until then. But I mean, Jordan's stuff, Tay, is just, it's incredible, and everybody should look out because they're young. They're going to have a pile of money come the offseason because all that Rodgers dead cap money's coming off, and they're going to have the option now that free agents are starting to notice too, Tay. That's going to make you even then a more desirable place going, oh, I get to go play with that. That team is going to be competitive for a long time. And we heard Colin say that.
I love it. I mean, on the Jordan thing, rewind really quick. I like everything you said about Jordan. Everybody is on this. They're black and white on this. Jordan's the guy. He's him. He's and it's like, okay, I agree with most people out there that say he's been really great. He's been awesome. The stats show it in the last 6-8 games. Phenomenal, right? He is playing great, but I'm not like gonna write a check right now. I'm not gonna sell the farm here. I'm gonna just, okay, he's done really well, exceeded all expectations, but that doesn't mean you have to just, be black and white with it. Okay, now he is it. This is the next coming. We have another 15 years. Well, 45 years. It's gonna say, hold on. Let's see what he does next year. How he responds to this as a group, as a whole team, him, like I get it. He's been playing well, and we admit it. He has. He's exceeded our expectations, but hold on a second. Let's see what this turns into. This is the long game here. Everyone has these short-sighted like opinions and viewpoints. It's like, no. You and I are sitting here. We're looking deep. We're looking far out into the pasture here. We're saying, all right, well, okay, we did the first 10 yards, okay, but what about the next 90 yards to like be really okay with this? And he will prove it. It's all indications that he will. He'll prove it over the next year, and then when he gets a contract, the next several years, and then we can really say this is it. Because you can't make a judgment after one season. You really can't. You can't at all. Look at all these guys that have Justin Fields up there, Kirk Cousins, like Stafford, Goff kind of thing. It's like this stuff comes around. These things can change really quickly, and Jordan looks great. He's awesome. do I want another quarterback right now for the Green Bay Packers? No. Like he's doing great things as a team in this unit. So to just like pull him out and put him on that bronze pedestal and say, oh, he's the third guy. He's it. Cash it in. Let's go. I just like pump the brakes a little bit here, but he's been playing good. And I really had to step back and enjoying all this media run has been great. Just holy crap, we were wrong about the Packers. Like I love it. It's just soaking it in. But I think it was Sunday night going to bed. I was like, we're one of 4 teams in the NFC that are in the playoffs. Left.
That's it, Tay?
1 of 8 in the league. It's like, pinch me. I'm dreaming. Like, 1 of 4. And Eagles now are gone. So it's Buccaneers, Lions, Niners, and us. Like, we could go to the Super Bowl. Like, I'm not saying we're going to. There's a huge hurdle ahead of us this week, but it's like, holy crap, we're actually this close. We're 1 of 4. Like, unbelievable. I can't believe this. The turn of events that this Packers team has taken. And then I guess, I don't know, just to look backwards on it with this game. I mean, they dominated the Cowboys, and it just feels so good. We routed them. We showed them who was boss. We showed them we had life. We proved to them that we belong. And I think, like Colin said, like playoffs are prove-it games. They're not like, we're supposed to be here because this is what we did in the regular season, like the Cowboys.
That's how they play, Tay. That's how the Cowboys are.
But we proved
they
it.
were already in Dallas. They were talking about how do they get over the hump against San Francisco in the NFC Championship game. That's that team. Those people were so far down the road on this team.
They looked way past the Packers.
It just I don't know if the team did. I mean, maybe some of those guys did, but the Packers just kicked their ass, Tay. Let's be honest. Maybe they did look past them a little bit, but I think they didn't know what was coming to town.
No,
they didn't. It was a bunch of kids that don't care.
Nope.
They know they're the underdog. They got all the energy. They don't have all the games in their bodies. They're just going to go ball out with each other, and that's how they play, Tay. That's why they're so damn dangerous, because they're all growing up together, Tay.
I love it.
It's just who they are. This is going to be this team for a while, and it's super fun.
Just to have this Packers team having the way that this season has transpired, to go down there and just dismantle the Cowboys, to put them in their place. I mean, this is one of the most fun wins to watch in a long, long time. Like, this can be, you have to bookmark this one as one of the great wins in playoff history.
Oh, 100%, Tay. This is the feeling I had. Is better than the Super Bowl, because I was so nervous watching beat and play Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
This is the feeling I had that Saturday night all those years ago, watching the Packers beat the living hell out of the Falcons in Atlanta. This is the best I've felt watching a Packer game since then. That Super Bowl run all those years ago. That is where this Dallas game lives for me. It's just like you just kept pinching yourself, and it just kept getting better. You're like, we're up what? And then Darnold Savage
21-0 all of a sudden.
And then Darnold Savage picks it off, and you're like, this is happening? Like, a la, it's right before the half, too. A la, Tramon Williams doing that before the half against Atlanta, and you're like, this is ridiculous. And you're like, at that point, you really like they're gonna not just win. They're gonna beat the hell out of this team.
Yeah.
It's not even gonna be a thing anymore. It was incredible. I love that feeling. And hey, let's be honest, Tay. We're here on the 17th of January. We never thought we'd still be talking Packers still playing football.
No.
I mean, we don't have to talk about the pending free agents coming up, who they should target in the draft yet.
Yeah.
I
Nothing.
mean, that's so awesome.
We're talking about the next game.
We're in the dead of winter,
and
the Packers are keeping it alive. That is awesome. They're just taking us through the dead and, making us all feel alive. And it doesn't matter what happens on Saturday. Again, we're back to the house money.
Right. We're doubled down on the house money now. I love it.
Yeah. There's literally and Jordan, you saw the post-game presser pieces. No, I mean, he just wants to go have fun with his boys, and then it's on to the next one. They're going out to San Francisco. They know that old version of the Packers got their ass kicked all the time by the Niners. Mm-hmm. They know that, but they're not them. Does that mean they're going to go beat the Niners, Tay?
Yeah, maybe not.
I don't know about that.
But we experienced that.
They're not them. And our guy Nick Bosa had something to say about that today. Were you familiar with that Nick Bosa soundbite?
I saw him say something, but I didn't see what it was exactly.
Well, Nick came out and said, quote unquote, Tay, Love is a quarterback who does exactly what he's coached to do. Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer and unbelievable, but he kind of went outside the realm of coaching. And sometimes it's good when you have a guy who does what he's coached to do.
Like, what do you translate that as for him? Like, this is easy pickings. Like, he's a system quarterback now. Like, where's Nick coming from with this? Or is he getting accolades?
I think Nick's saying, hey, look, he's listened, he's learned.
Yeah.
Like our quarterbacks do with our head coach. That's pretty much the same thing as their head coach, and the way they scheme it up, the way they teach these offenses to put these quarterbacks in a position to be
worked well
massively successful.
Yeah,
I mean,
worked.
They're going out to Santa Clara today to play the quarterback with the best QBR in the league this year.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't argue with Mr. Irrelevant out there because he's relevant as hell.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he puts up the numbers. They scheme it up, and that's what Jordan and Matt do.
Yep.
But you've seen Jordan's development too. That Jordan does. He recognizes things now. You hear him all the time. Can. You know, he's changing the play. He's recognized, like last week. I mean, talk about Matt LaFleur talking about him recognizing that zero blitz, meaning, hey, the house is coming, and changing the call and getting those plays to work. He's seeing the field so much better than he did at the start of the year. It's like, I think Colin mentions it in his full piece, but to see where he started and where he's come in one season is incredible. It is. It's like the switch flipped, and when it did, and it's not just sometimes for Jordan, but it was for these wide receivers. I mean, Matt LaFleur talked about guys like Tucker Kraft. He's never seen a guy, grow so much in his first season ever. I mean, that's heavy praise, right? Yep. But that's kind of echoed through a lot of this roster, where they started to where they are today.
Jordan Love played awesome on Sunday, and he made really good decisions, and that'll make you successful. Like and then some of the throws he made, he was confident in. I mean, those were sometimes threading the needle there. Obviously, he had some of those wide open passes, but at least he had time, and credit to the offensive line. But he had time to throw those and dissect and go through his reads. It's the perfect situation you want, and it happened, and he executed it perfectly. But he's playing awesome. He's making really good decisions, and the whole team is just coalescing into this like perfect storm that you want to see, that you need to see in the playoffs, and they're hitting their stride at the right time all together. Like, Jordan's playing great, but also everyone else's. The offensive line,
look at the
receivers.
Line. 0 sacks. Yeah. Would they give up 3 pressures? But every time Jordan had a guy in his face, he completed the pass.
Yes, right.
Every time.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's everybody. It's all working. I mean, that pass, that 30-yard falling back on his feet pass to Wicks in the end zone.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous stuff. That's like Hall of Fame quarterback stuff we saw from Rodgers back in the day. You're like, and he flips it too, Tate. Just like flips that wrist and it's zing, bam, right down the alley in stride.
Yep.
Never misses a beat. Incredible. I think that's the best pass of the game, no doubt about it. So, I mean, it's just all working. Aaron Jones, masterpiece game, but he just goes down to Dallas and he has one every time. So, I mean, it's crazy, but yeah, Aaron Jones is averaging 110 yards on the ground in the last 4 games. I mean, I think he had 121 on the ground. He averaged, I think, 5.6 yards a carry. And sure, yeah, I mean, the first few runs of the game, he got stuffed, but they just stuck with it. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Run the ball, set up the pass, and then down as that time bleeds out into the second half, he starts gashing them, and they had nothing to stop it.
And this is an aspect of the game that we need. Like, the Packers need this. They need the 100-yard rusher every time to win, and so it's worked for us. And so he's a crucial cog in that wheel, and we need him. I'm just thankful that he didn't get injured or something, because then we would be in a bit of trouble this coming Saturday night. But that's just a piece of the puzzle. That running game did really well. I mean, Aaron Jones did well. Those other guys, I was just like,
Emmanuel Wilson, even 5 carries for probably like 12 yards.
Patrick Taylor is.
I think he had 2 carries, 3 carries. I mean, there's nothing there.
It's like, okay. So outside of of those guys. Like obviously Aaron Jones is the guy. Like you just wonder kind of, not for too long, but you like, what if AJ is in there in the 1-2 punch? Like, can he get some production? If Aaron Jones goes down, is he there to pick up the slack? It's just like he hasn't really proved it this year. So it's just, again, the stars aligned. Aaron Jones is healthy. He's getting over 100 yards a game, and he's integral to the win. And it's
Big
just, it's so awesome. Defense too, doing great. It's kind of stinks about the whole, we won't really get into it now about the whole Joe Barry thing because it doesn't really matter, but they're playing great. Like the defense is playing great. And
some people would point out, like they gave up 500 total yards offense and Dak had an XYZ quarterback rating eventually, but they played a lot of soft stuff in the second half. And, it's either going to get between the D line and the linebackers in that soft zone or behind the linebackers and the quarterbacks and the safeties. I mean, that's the way that was set up to play in the second half because they had such a big lead. So you could pick on it all you want, but they did 56 yards, 3.7 yards a carry for Pollard last week, Tay. It was weird.
Yep.
The Cowboys seemed like they wanted to run the ball early, which I thought was strange when it was still a game very early. I'm like, well, aren't you guys a passing team?
Yeah.
Like, why are you trying to establish this run here? It was kind of the play calling McCarthy was doing was questionable in general, but the Packers shut down that run game. I mean, they didn't do much, and as a result, they were able to just kind of key in on the pass game, and it didn't work.
No, and they virtually shut down CeeDee Lamb. Ferguson was really the only one that was really like, okay, this is this little safety valve all the time. But that stuff happened.
Yeah,
in third,
CeeDee ended
quarter.
up with more receiving yards than Jake, but he wasn't playing hard, and that was all. Again, they were all just trash yards. And they weren't good.
I remember late in the fourth quarter, they kept showing Dak's stats, and it's like that pass attempts kept going up, and it was like 52 or 53 at the end of that, and it was like kept going up. I'm like, God, this guy's throwing 50 times a game. In this game, he's throwing 50. Yeah. CeeDee Lamb gets 17 targets. Jake Ferguson gets 12. I mean, that is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, and so that's why it's garbage time. It translates into those.
And the Packers had to play like 90 plus defensive snaps in that game today. That's how crazy that was because of, again, such the large lead that allowed the Packers to kind of sit back and do that. And they had to kind of reassess that whole piece, and it is what it is. But that game wasn't even nearly as close as that 16-point margin of victory that it ended up being.
And I guess we talked about offense a little bit, we talked about defense, but the coaching, like, props to Matt. I mean, he outcoached Mike McCarthy 100%. Everything he dialed up worked. And I don't know. Maybe you have an opinion. The Cowboys played like trash. They didn't even expect it. They didn't game plan for it or something, and then they couldn't adjust during. But they were just terrible. So they did get outcoached, and Matt LaFleur did scheme up a really good game for them. I don't know. I would think that the Cowboys had more to do with that and playing terrible against the Packers than an absolute dominating coaching outing here by Matt LaFleur. But where do you land on that? Obviously, whatever they did worked. So it's like, how do you know what actually happened? But
I think, Matt LaFleur called one of his best games ever. He outcoached Mike McCarthy, up and down that football field. I think the Cowboys, just the way they are coached and, the way they play, I just think the Packers, the way they play football is today's version of the NFL, and the Cowboys are some years behind. That's what I think. I just don't think that team translates to be able to beat a lot of teams like a San Francisco or Green Bay this day and age. I just don't think they can, Tay. I think they, even throw in Detroit, and the only reason beat Detroit was on a questionable call. I just don't think they can hang. I think the way they are as a franchise and the way they're coached and set up, I think they're just some years behind.
Yeah. Yep.
They're good enough to they'll blow out the average to below average teams because they've got a hell of a great number one wide receiver, a pretty solid quarterback, and some super talented guys on defense. But when it comes to playing,
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Hey, one guy, Deron Bland, broke the pick six record this year. But I just think I just don't think they can hang with today's fast offenses and teams that really do. The Packers can set up and show you that they're going to run, and it could easily be a pass, and vice versa. You just don't know, and I don't think they have the ability to recognize that and play with it on either side of the ball.
Yeah. I think once the Packers found themselves, they were able to take on opponents like Detroit, even Minnesota here, and then obviously Dallas. They're able to play their game, execute what they want to, in the coaching, research, exploit the opponent's weaknesses or whatever, and that's what they did. I really think that was the part of this that worked so well, is Matt LaFleur and I guess Joe Barry really kind of dialed in and figured out what they could do against this Cowboys offense and defense, and it worked. And to jump ahead, that's what I think is one of the biggest things here coming in. Kyle Shanahan has really has gotten our goat the whole time.
We talked about it last week, Tay. We're the Cowboys boogeyman. But guess who's ours?
Yeah, they are.
The 49ers.
Because he can outcoach us like that, instantly. You're just like, okay.
He knows what Matt's doing. It's like Matt's his little brother that does the same thing,
right?
But he's seen it 1,000 times before and still kicks his ass every time.
Kyle can put out his hand on Matt LaFleur's forehead, and Matt can't hit him. It's like, you can't hit me. That's what it feels like. And so this is when it counts. Matt has to go to the drawing board, going back to his scheme, and he really has to tailor it to the 49ers and exploit their weaknesses. He did it well in Dallas. It's got to happen if they're to win. And the same with the defense too. I think when you jump from the Cowboys to the Niners now, it's a whole new set of weapons, and it's more weapons.
It is.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that was a good test. Good job, Matt, down in Dallas. But now, okay, you sharpen your axe and your knives here. So now it's time to use them for real. And I think the Cowboys were a bit of a frauds with their dominating wins over bad teams this season, kind of showing that, they were pretty flashy, but when it came down to it, they didn't have where it counts, like the Packers did, and have kind of grown into it. So maybe they've matured over the season, knocked off a lot of that. Not even rust. It's just kind of getting on the same page, and now they are. So I like their chances here this week. I really do.
I like it better than the past, Tay, because going back to a 49er, and that's Nick Bosa, what he said is, Jordan Love plays in the confine of the system, even though Matt obviously is given him some more free reign to change things at the line nowadays. But he plays the football Matt wants him to play. We don't have hero ball happening, trying to play off script and, remember one of the most annoying things about 12 Tay was he'd hold on the ball forever. It's there was 3 guys he could have thrown the ball to, and he's just waiting for the big play. God, it got just throw the ball. Yeah. It got so old, but no, the difference is huge now with a guy running the offense the way it's supposed to be run.
I'm trying to find it right now, but did you see Adam Stanovich's comments just this afternoon here? It's Wednesday. I think he had a press conference or something, or at least is it maybe in the
I did not see. I know there were some interviews scheduled for Wednesday afternoon. It's normally the big interview day is Wednesday. So
I kind of missed it, but I'm going to paraphrase it here while I find it. But Adam basically, he's asked about Aaron and maybe a difference between Aaron and Jordan, and he basically says, I'm paraphrasing, that Jordan's following the playbook. He's following the scheme. He's following what's being told to him. So when something happens on the field, all the coaches know what's happening because that's everyone hears it in this headset.
And they're all learning together, good, bad, or indifferent too, right?
Right. So but after the play's done, everyone knows, okay, well, we had called this play. Maybe we give them 2 plays, one to change it to, or check down. There's always a check down play. Right. Everyone knows what those are. It's all on the table. Here they are. And then when it happens, they're like, okay, this is what happened. This is what we saw. Adam Stenovich says when Aaron was there, he would change it to something that we had no idea what it was. And so all of a sudden, when they're coming off the field, it's like, oh, I don't even know what happened there. Like, what did he call it to? Like, exactly. So they didn't even know.
So that pulls you away from all learning together. Like, okay, like, so this look against this defense didn't work. Here's why. Here's where Jordan, you missed your read here, or here's where we could have called this extra piece here that makes it work.
You don't get that.
So you're not growing as a football team. You're not learning together. That's crazy, Tay, how much he maybe held some of this stuff back from, an offensive growth opportunity to maybe spite himself. I mean, that could have maybe even prolonged it even more. I mean, maybe he does have a chip if he just lets it happen.
Yeah. It's funny to me that he's not like pointing fingers at Aaron, but he's saying like, well, Jordan's different because he's actually following what we want him to do, or at least we know what's happening. And you're able to, they can go back then, the day after, and they can all talk about it, and it's just so much easier to move forward or correct things
and communicate.
There's no silos there.
No silos.
So that was today. Go check out that quote if you can find it. That was
apparently you
very
can't.
Interesting. I cannot. I'm trying to do that, and I evidently can't multitask. One bummer from the game was JJ Enagbare, Kingsley Enagbare. I think it's toward the end of the game, ACL tear or rip. Not
confirmed by the Packers, but we know our one guy, Rappaportly, reported it, and he's never wrong. So, and that's a shame in so many ways, because you have a guy who's a situational edge rusher who's good, Tay, and he plays good against the run too, Tay. Yeah. I mean, that's hard to replace situational edge rushers, and clearly if his ACL is now an issue today in January, it's going to be an issue all next year as well. So that's not something. And we all like JJ. I mean, I hate 55, man. I definitely he's out there balling when he is. He plays super hard, and it's a loss, no doubt about it.
And it's early, but I think they look in the draft for an edge rusher. They at least should draft one or two of them.
You always need some extras.
So it's now you kind of like look at that and you're like, well, he's not going to be ready by training camp by first of the season. There's really
the only thing you think is fourth quarter of the season, maybe. So that's at best. And what Rashawn Gary did today is so just unexpected and not normal. So
it just stinks because it's like they did make it to the divisional round now, and a guy that's contributed to this team and he's had a lot of promise goes down. So it's just you got to feel for that. And JJ, I'm really sorry. But, we try hard, and
Kiki,
we look forward to you.
We wish you were out there, but it will give some more time to Lucas, who's been playing.
Yeah, he's
some pretty decent football down the stretch, so he'll get some more reps because they're going to need him. And, hopefully, you continue to see him also, his needle pointing in the right direction, because it certainly appears he's playing better football the last quarter of the season as well.
Who's the guy coming in?
Brenton Cox is going to be
right.
the road. And Brenton in the preseason.
Yeah, preseason was good.
Well, he was preseason darling. Yeah, did play some good football. So, hey, he'll be fresh. We know that.
Right.
That's about it.
Yeah. I don't really have any more to say about Dallas too much.
I mean, we got a lot of those fun, immediate joys, on the first take. I don't know if you understood my here we go to San Francisco, but that is Dak's cadence.
When he's like, here we go.
That's always, instead of green 18.
Yeah.
So here we go, and then that's his cadence. It's such a weird thing that, like, Peyton was Omaha, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But that's why I opened with here we go. I didn't know if I had lost you at the time.
I thought maybe you were quoting him in a special way, but I knew it was Dak. But I was like, maybe he's like got something. But
I was in the bag, Tay. I was not drunk. I was in the bag pulling some good stuff out. It was good.
It was
man.
A rabbit out of the hat for sure. That cadence I think is a little too on the nose when you do like like a color number combination like we have here in Green Bay,
which has not changed in 30 some years.
But they do. I think there's 3 different ones, like green 19, blue 58,
blue 58.
And I think there's another.
Is it
one.
green 19 or is it green 18?
Green 19. Everyone knows this.
Okay, it's that.
But when you say "here we go," like,
and it's always like "here we go."
It's
like, here we go.
It's like I think the snap is coming now. I think it's here.
But it just depends. He sometimes says "here we go" like 5 times today.
So, and evidently, later in the game, Jordan Love also does this cadence, and it was I didn't see any of this on Twitter, but that's where he acknowledged. He's like, yeah, I saw some of this hate on Twitter. That he was also using it. Maybe everyone thought it was in a mocking sort of way. Jordan was saying, "Here we go."
He was taking a piss on it, yeah.
But I don't think he says no. That's part. We have one of those cadences in our repertoire that I was using at that time. It's like, okay.
I mean,
sure.
That's like Rich Bisaccia going down the tunnel saying, "How about them Cowboys?" Which he did.
Did he?
So,
Nice.
oh yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. So I mean, there's no love lost. We got a little chippy at the end with the Cowboys. I mean, it was again, it was my second. Most favorite win in the last 15 years.
Yes.
I mean, it was just an amazing Sunday afternoon. Hey, anytime, top 5 hated teams, the Cowboys, anytime you get to dismantle them, they're just all talk, and it's amazing.
Yeah, and they're feeling, this is the last thing I'll say about the Cowboys. I think they're feeling what we've felt numerous times when we get to the NFC Championship, although they haven't gotten there. We have. We get there, and we fall flat. And then it's all that huge expectation, all that drama that you feel in the offseason, ranking up, and then we go back to it and we fail. Like that, just huge disappointment against the Niners. You and I were there 2 years ago. No,
2 years ago. Yep.
Just to see that
divisional round
field goal go through the uprights and we lose by 3. And it's like,
and they couldn't move the football.
Me? Are you kidding me?
The defense played a hell of a game. They could not move the football.
So, I feel like that's how the Cowboys feel, just devastated, just completely, just and it's great. It's great as a Packers fan. That's great we want everyone to share in this experience. All right,
especially Cowboys fans.
We got slated for Saturday night at 7:15 p.m. and that's local our time, Central Time. So it's 5 o'clock out there. So it'll probably be just getting dark out there. Maybe the sun's going down in Santa Clara. Hopefully the sun will set on the 49ers season. Yes, there's a lot of baggage with this matchup. As we've just alluded to 2 years ago in the divisional match, I think there's more of a chance now that we'll beat them. Shanahan tends to really, can be hyper focused on and exploit our weaknesses. I'm afraid of that. That's really what you're afraid of, right? At this point, I'm not afraid that the Packers will just fall apart. I think they have the confidence and they're hitting everything in stride here. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the Niners more than I'm worried about the Packers, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Obviously, turnovers and mistakes can happen. We've been pretty good about those, but if those start entering in the equation, then that kind of throws everything off. But I'm more worried about the 49ers and what Shanahan can do to us than what we can do to them.
The Niners are tough day. I mean, there's a reason they're the number 1 seed. They had a bye last week. They essentially had a bye the last week of the season. Didn't play, most of their starters. They're rested. They're well rested. Now, this does work against some teams sometimes.
Like it did us.
And not just the Packers in different occasions as well, but it has worked against a lot of teams over time. Again, I don't fear the old Packers. Rodgers' Packers in the playoffs never beat the Niners. It didn't happen. The Niners, their last 4 playoff meetings, have beaten the Packers. Didn't matter if it's Kaepernick running all over us, if it's Raheem Mostert literally running all over us, if it's just, the offense of the Packers a couple years ago, their inability to score any points. There's always
special teams blunders.
Special teams blunders in that one, giving up 6. I mean, not good stuff, Tay. But yeah, there are boogeyman. But this team is year, Tay. I mean, obviously we all watch a lot of football. to me, this was the best team in the NFL all year. I know I watched that game on Christmas as well against the Ravens. They sucked. Baltimore kicked the crap out of them. But generally, this Niners team, they show you why they are the best. I mean, you get the label All-Pro, right? This team's got All-Pros everywhere. And that's obviously voted on there by their peers. The Packers have no All-Pros. They have no Pro Bowlers this year, which is also okay in this regard. But man, you got Christian McCaffrey. He's all-Pro. Fred Warner's All-Pro. Left tackle Trent Williams, All-Pro. You got Nick Bosa. You got their middle of their D-line, Javon Hargrave and Eric Armstead. They anchor that middle. So let's throw in Chase Young to get thrown off Washington's trash heap over there. Nick's got 10.5 sacks. Chase has got 7.5 sacks. Nick leads the league in QB hits, Tay. Danger time. They're so good as a front four, Tay. They don't even blitz ever because they don't have to.
Yeah.
They're scary. Fred Warner anchors their off-ball linebackers, Tay. He's a stud. Let's get into the D backfield, Tay. You guys got guys like Chadarius Ward, who just is awesome. I mean, they're good, Tay. They're good everywhere you look. Then you look at on offense. Brock Purdy leads the league in QBR. They got an all-pro tight end. His name's George Kittle. We've all heard about him. We know the Packers suck at covering tight ends. The Packer off-ball linebackers, Tay, we know them. We love them. We like ourselves some Quay Walker, some Devondre Campbell. We hope McDuffie can play on Sunday because he's been playing well. But that's going to be a test for those guys covering the tight end. And then you got Brandon Ayuk, who really he was always like, is he going to get to be good? The Niners didn't know, but now he is. He's damn good, Tay. And he was on fire parts of the season. Oh, and then you got another guy, Deebo Samuel. We know what he can do. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, how many guys did I just mention that are way too good?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of scary, Tay. But I think they're fifth in overall, top 5 in passing yards, top 5 in rushing yards. You want to find a good thing to say about the Niners, you can find it pretty much anywhere. So it's going to be a huge, huge test come Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, looking at their stats here, I mean, on offense and defense, they're in the top half at least, and if not the top 10 for most of these. And so that's dangerous. I mean,
that's why they're literally the Super Bowl betting favorite of any team.
Yep.
And we're all year. And I mean, it's not like this is a surprise to anyone. This is the team that should win the Super Bowl this year.
And, Brock Purdy plays in that system, does what he's supposed to do, makes really good decisions, able to elude pass rushes, and then make those good decisions, a la Jordan Love lately. And then you put in Kyle Shanahan. I mean, the dude knows how to coach. He knows how to put his players in the right positions. We've been good. The Packers have been good at neutralizing like one or two playmakers on each side of the ball for, a good chunk of this season, I think. They've been able to shut like one person down, shut CeeDee Lamb down, stop Micah Parsons from rushing the quarterback. Great. But now you look at the Niners here, and you got, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, Chase Young. All of a sudden, you've tripled your problems on defense, just getting to the quarterback. And then on offense, you got Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, and Deebo. And it's all of a sudden you have
all-pro left tackle,
exponential problems
protecting his blind side. I mean,
so this is tough, and it's gonna come down to how well they can coach and pick out the plays against those tough players that they have. It's going to be crucial. So this is, I don't know. I think the Packers can go out there and do what they've done and be good. But man, when they, that's why I was talking about before. When I fear Shanahan more than I do the Packers executing. This is going to be a tough one. This is going to be super tough.
Big time. I mean, I think you start with limiting CMC. A lot of that offense runs through them. That's where I'd start. have a spy on that guy. I mean,
well, he catches out of the backfield all the time.
Right. And you play zone and you try to keep guys in front of you. That's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to obviously replicate a little bit of what Baltimore did. I mean, they were getting pressure, and you got to get pressure, and they forced him into 4 picks that day. I mean, he looked god awful, Tay.
Yep.
One thing the Niners don't do the best at is stopping the run. They're not bad at it, but they're not great at it either. Couple weeks back, the Cardinals had a season high 234 rushing yards in Week 15 against them. The Ravens had 102 in Week 16 the following week. They also struggle a little bit when we're talking about their cornerbacks with slot receivers. So that's where Wicks or Melton could, potentially do some things in the pass game. Just trying to, the Niners, Tay, I was reading this one piece about when the Niners are empty. They averaged a video game like 11.2 yards per attempt. So when they run an empty formation, basically they're unguardable, and Purdy finds anybody. Samuel, Ayuk, McCaffrey, Kittle, it doesn't matter. Somebody's going to be open in the concept. So, they're just things you're going to need to keep an eye on. Obviously, Kittle, we talked about him. The Packers suck at covering tight ends, 27th in DVOA. Kittle averages 5 receptions and 87 yards at home.
Yeah.
That's the average, Tay.
Yeah.
So, that's one that could easily, haunt them. So their D backfield, we talked about their cornerbacks, Chardavius Ward and stuff. They're 4th overall, 1st in interceptions with 22, Tay. It's incredible. So the Packers have a lot in front of them. I think a successful game plan is you sticking with the run a little bit, get Aaron, lathered up a little bit so that he can take a little pressure off the pass game. If that offensive line plays the way it did in Dallas, Jordan's going to have a good game. Mm-hmm. And, again, some of their best defense can just be keeping Mike Shanahan's offense off the field.
Yeah.
The more you can do that, sustain drives, the better off you're going to be. You keep this thing a little close so you get an opportunity potentially to win the game at the end. Yeah. That's all you can do for yourself.
My biggest key to this game, besides being able to outcoach them or trying to outcoach them or match them, is I really believe the Packers need to be out in front of this like they were against Dallas.
I know that's been your thing all year. You really, and it's their thing, but yeah, you love them playing with the lead, and you're right. They play much better with the lead.
If they can go down there and score something, even if it's 3, just to get that momentum going in their direction, I think they can have a really, really good chance. Even if it's back and forth, I don't mind that either. Like if it's touchdown, that's fine. But as soon as they get up, 2 touchdowns behind, 17 points behind, then there's a problem. I just don't see it happening, and I don't think they can get over that. Defensively for the Packers, I think it's going to come down to individual effort. We saw it with Savage. We saw it with Jair making those interceptions. Those were on those guys. Those 2 did that. And, yeah, they were in position to do it, but maybe it was a little bit on Dak throwing those. But that's what we're going to need here against Brock Purdy and crew is individual efforts, especially in that secondary. If not,
even that D line. How about it's time for Rashawn Gary to have a game?
Just put him
have
on
a
the
game,
ground.
Rashawn Gary, because we paid you to have a game.
Yeah,
go have a game.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for defensive individual efforts here that can really shut down some big plays or turn the tables with some turnovers or something. But that's what it's going to come down to. I think scheming this against the Niners offense is tough. It's a tough task at hand, and I just think it's going to take a little more for the Packers to be able to mitigate anything that they do.
I mean, I'd be using Quay like watching 23 CMC all day long. I'd be like, dude, I mean, Brock Purdy can get out and move a little bit, but not really. I'd be like, hey, 7, just be keeping your eyes on 23. That's your man.
Yep.
Keep in front of you all day.
And and that's just the thing. Like when CeeDee Lamb was not getting the balls, and they were throwing to Ferguson and over the middle. It's just like, whatever, just do it. Like, I don't want that big play. And same goes for the Niner game. I don't want that big explosive play. Contain and swarm. Give them the 10, 15 yards pass plays. It's okay. Bend a little bit. Don't break. But keep everything in front of you. We don't need that stuff. Like, that can really set you back. And I don't know. Those are. I think the offense for the Packers should just do what they do normally. Grease the wheel with Aaron, or grease Aaron, whatever you say.
Lather him up, Tay.
Lather him up.
Get him going. Again, it's got to be another 22 plus carries in this game. Probably more like 25 plus.
Because everybody sees the stat of when Aaron Jones gets 15 plus touches, then they have really good things happen to them.
Typically,
everyone's seen that. Are you buying into this waxing gibbous thing, this moon phase thing?
Wasn't that just for one game? That's
don't know.
That was against who do we play? No, that was Detroit.
Yeah, but
like the Detroit was the wax and gimme game on Thanksgiving.
Now they're talking about it now.
They had never won on
When?
Thanksgiving when there was a wax and gibbous moon. But that goes back like a lot of Thanksgivings. What is this one, Tay? Tell me about this one. I got to hear. I haven't heard this one.
I'm just saying they're pointing out on the 20th that it's going to be waxing gibbous moon, and so they're saying,
oh, so the magic might be here again because we've got another mag.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's just somebody like real. That's somebody reaching hard, Tay.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know what the line is, so I'm going to guess that the Niners are like probably 5.5 favorites.
Do we need to
7? No, lower, higher than 7.
Just a little higher.
Gosh,
just a little higher.
8.5.
Just a little higher.
9. It's 9. 9.5.
Bingo.
Jeez, that's a
good. No respect, Tay. No
respect for the pack. But whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care about that stuff.
Yeah, and I mean they don't care either.
I'm not betting on the game either.
They don't care either. I mean, if I had to pick a winner this week, it's not going to be the Packers, okay? But do I expect them to – I expect this Packer team to go out to San Francisco and compete with this team. I do. This is different Packers. I love it. It's, again, I can't believe we're here. I can't believe season 1 of this turned into this, and we're in the divisional round. We're talking about it.
Yeah.
It's nearing almost the end of January. If they win on Sunday, Tay – throw it out all at the window. They can win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you that right now.
Well,
if they win on Sunday, Saturday night, they can absolutely win the Super Bowl.
Look at those other two teams. They can beat the Bucks. They can beat the Lions. This is it. This is the Super Bowl. Like, to me, I mean, well, okay.
They're all games. They're all tough. They're all games. I'm saying this season, in particular, can end in a Super Bowl victory if they win Saturday night. Because then, I'm just going to say it.
It could go.
It could go. So.
So you're saying there's no chance. What do you?
I'm saying I'm not picking them to win, but absolutely they can win.
All right. If they, well, what's the score? Like just throw out a score.
Okay. I'm going to go 31-24 San Francisco.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to go 38-33 Packers.
It's a lot of points.
It is. Yeah.
It's a lot of
I think that can happen.
Okay. Fair enough.
You saw it in Dallas. Like, they put up points in garbage time. That could happen to the Packers.
Sure. Well, let's hope we're not talking about garbage time.
Yeah.
I don't want any of that. Just give them a game. Go play your ass off. I don't see why they won't.
Yeah, they're really coming into their own, and I think they're confident enough now. They know themselves, and they're young, and they're blind. They got the blinders on. They're just they can focus on what they want. Yeah, there's no curses. There's curses for us, but there's no spell cast on them right now. So we gotta love it. You love it.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's still house money, Tay.
Well, that's all I got. We appreciate everyone listening. We will try to. We'll attempt to do a first take right after.
Oh, there's going to be a first take, Tay.
I got to talk to
Ren. Do that, Tay.
I got to talk to Renoda after we get off here about that. But look for that. And whatever happens, Ren, I'm okay with. I'm okay with it. If they just stumble and fall, whatever. We got this far. I mean, no one saw this coming. And whatever happens. I'm going to be fine with it. This is a great start, great foundation to build off of. Go, Pack, go.
You got it, Tay. Until episode 257, Tay, when we reconvene with the Lion and the Cub on the pup list.
Thank you.